Imagine a quiet farming town where the only sounds are tractors humming and church bells ringing. Now, picture a hacker in a distant country draining a retired farmer's life savings with one click. This isn't fiction. It's the reality for millions in rural America, where cybercrime is exploding like a digital wildfire. The FTC reported $12.5 billion in fraud losses last year alone, with older Americans often in rural areas losing the most. But how did rural communities become prime targets? And why are cybercriminals betting on their vulnerability? Let's start with Phyllis, a 68-year-old grandmother in Iowa. She received a text claiming her grandson was jailed and needed bail money. Panicked, she wired $15,000, her entire savings, to a scammer who was overseas. Stories like Phyllis aren't rare. Sean Waskol of AARP Oklahoma warns it can happen to anyone, but rural residents face unique risks. They have a limited cybersecurity education, reliance on aging tech, and a false sense of safety in the tight-knit communities. Now meet St. Mary's Hospital, a 20-bed facility in Nebraska. Last year, ransomware logged doctors out of patient records for weeks. Ambulances diverted patients 50 miles away. One heart attack victim unfortunately died en route. Microsoft estimates 93% of attacks on rural hospitals start with a phishing email. They tend to exploit overworked staff. With 46 million Americans depending on rural healthcare, these breaches aren't just about data. They are life or death. Why are rural areas so vulnerable? Because of the myth of safety. We are just a small town. Why would hackers target us? This mindset leaves defenses lax. Yet, rural businesses often lack IT teams using outdated systems like Windows 7 or even Windows XP. There's also economic desperation. When a Kansas feedlot lost $200,000 to invoice fraud, it nearly shut down. Cybercriminals prey on businesses already struggling with thin margins. Oftentimes, there is greed versus urgency trap. Tennessee Tech's Eric Brown explains, scammers manipulate human psychology. Act now or lose everything. A tactic that works on isolated, trusting communities. But the biggest threat, ransomware. In 2023, rural hospitals faced a 130% surge in attacks. Hackers know these facilities can't afford downtime or the $4.4 million average ransom. When Maple Valley Clinic in Wyoming paid $500,000 to restore systems, the hackers came back 3 months later. We had no choice but to close, said the director. The fallout is catastrophic. Patient mortality rises 20% post-cyber attack in rural hospitals. 429 facilities at the risk of closure due to cyber-related costs. 75 million needed to secure rural hospitals. Yet, most can't afford even $30,000 for basic protections like multi-factor authentication. But there's hope. Microsoft Cybersecurity for Rural Hospitals program has trained 550 facilities, slashing phishing success rates by 60%. Meanwhile, grassroots efforts like Cyber Guardians, a voluntary group of retired IT professionals, teach seniors to spot scam in church basements and county fairs. So what's the solution? A three-pronged approach. Number one, funding Congress's proposed $75 million rural cybersecurity fund could save hospitals, but it's stalled in committee. Number two, education. Workshops simulating phishing attacks have cut victimization by 45% in pilot communities. And number three, tech partnerships. Microsoft's AI tools now auto-block 90% of ransomware attempts in participating hospitals. As the sun sets on Main Street, the question remains, will rural America become a cautionary tale or a blueprint for resiliency? The answer lies in bridging the urban-rural cyber divide before the next attack leaves another town in ashes. Now let's talk about some key statistics and sources. $12.5 billion lost to rural fraud in 2024. 20% mortality spike post-hospital cyber attacks. 93% of breaches start with phishing. $75 million funding gap for rural hospital security. And very interestingly, Microsoft's program protects 46 million patients. Share this video with someone in a small town. Awareness is the first firewall. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned as we continue to decode the hacks and shaping our digital world. Thank you.